Blah 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 blah. Lulu lulu. Hello. So I have no idea if you're hearing me, but so a couple of years ago I was standing roughly on the same spot, and I was reflecting about my recent life decisions, and it was a kind of rough time about my life at that point of time. Well, I was a year before, roughly a year before, I did quit my job as a supermarket clerk because it was terrible, and the job brought me to being burned out quite badly. And well, in that video that you're going to see in a couple of minutes or so on, I was reflecting about my life and how life is quite interesting into presenting to you the nice life opportunities as soon as you stop worrying about things that tend to destroy your life. For example, my job. And I think I was reflecting back then about the fact that as soon as I stopped working there, I began to work temporarily at the job where I used to work during the COVID pandemic, and it was a job at the library chain, is in the warehouses, managing all the books that come in and go out and that kind of stuff. Normal warehouse job. And that's at that job, at that particularly employer, opened up a position, and I applied for this position. And in those days when I made that video, I was quite happy because I was pretty sure that I was getting the job. Unfortunately, when it came to the speech, how do you call it, at the interview, job interview, well, it went totally wrong, badly, very badly, and I end up not receiving the job because one of the motivations was that I was way too overqualified for that job. And I would like to know since when is a problem to be being overqualified for a job, actually. I was overqualified whatsoever. And 2 years after, a year after that video, I applied for the same job again. This time the HR changed heads, and so this time I was quite lucky to get the job, actually. And now, even a year after that, I'm standing here, roughly at the same position, on the same spot as Darth Vader, and I'm quite happy with how things turned up to be, and I have this job as a warehouse sort of manager. Well, I move stuff. It's nothing fancy. I just organize stuff, I move stuff, I make sure that everybody's who's packing the books, because I'm working for the online division of this library chain for the online orders, and my job is to sort out all the books we receive from the different streams of where we receive books, and yeah, it's nothing fancy. It's a quite simple job, but I have a nice position because I have quite a lot of responsibility, and it's a very physical job, and I like it. I prefer physical jobs, and I don't like at all staying seated on a chair all day long. That's also one of the reasons why I completely failed at university. Yeah, I just wanted to reflect on my life, and now in the summer I'm getting married, and it's quite interesting how life gives in front of you lots of opportunities you never thought about. As soon as you say no to things that are making your life a mess and that are making your life worst. I'm just checking if focus works. Yeah, it works perfectly. Nice. Yeah. Well, I'm absolutely not advising you to quit your job. It would be very irresponsible. How I did it was enormously irresponsible, because I quit my job. I didn't have any plan B other than getting spare jobs. So I quit my job, and I was absolutely convinced not to apply for unemployment. So and so I also didn't get any money for my unemployment. In order to finance all my expenses, I sold my car. It was a nice car, Alfa Romeo Giulietta, really nice car. I learned how to drive the car. It was quite sporty, quite snappy. Oh, and the steering wheel was exceptional. Well, after 3 years of ownership, I sold the car in order to finance my unemployed life, and not to be a burden to my family members. And during that year or so of unemployment, well, I worked spare jobs and so on, and other things that I did, it was to go to my to the region, to the southern Italian region where my whole family comes from, Calabria, with my dad, and plant olive trees, look after the land that we don't profit from, other than producing a couple of liters of olive oil. And you know, it was the occasion to see if looking after my land, our land in Calabria was a thing that I could actually do for as a life project in my life, since I always had this idea since childhood to look after our land in Calabria. And yes, and during that year I discovered lots of things, and I had the time to deep down into my feelings, into my persona, and make sure that my life was going on the right path. Well, I think you probably never know if your life is on the right path, but you probably know if you're introspective enough, if what you're doing it's not something that really delivers you the good things. And I mean, if what you're doing is making you sick, you probably should change, but do it with a good plan B. I mean, work towards your plan B. And when you finally know that your plan B is good enough to sustain yourself for the time you think it's long enough to sustain yourself. Yeah, I'm sorry, my English is not my mother tongue. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. Have a plan B, and don't do things too irresponsible thing. And if you have to quit with being aware of the consequences of quitting. And if you quit, don't think you're a loser, because you're just adjusting your life, and your life, it's your life, and you have to be, of course, responsible towards yourself, but also responsible towards your health and mental health. And the moment you quit, you will discover, well, it won't come right away, but you will discover that there are a plethora of things, of opportunities that are waiting for you. But that's the point. Those opportunities won't come to you. You have to grab those opportunities. But during that year, for example, I had lots of time, and I finally understood what I didn't want to do. But also I got to know my now fiancée, my future wife. I never expected such a thing would ever happen to me, especially during a time of unemployment, because I thought women would just keep judging me and badly, and don't want to bother with me. Well, I didn't want to bother neither with women during that period of time, but somehow I got to know my fiancée, and now I'm getting married. Can you believe it is? Well, on this same spot, I shot 3 different videos. The video I talked about was the second video. This is the third. And before that, a year before that, I think I shot another video. I'm not quite sure if it's the case, but I shot another video right 1 or 2 months after I quit my job. And I was telling to myself, essentially, to the camera, to my smartphone, how happy I was that I took this decision, but that now it's the real challenge starts. And now here I am, a quite happy man. Job-wise, yes, happy, could be better. But again, I know that if I wanna to improve things in my life, I have to work hard, because nothing comes to you free of charge, essentially, and that's you have to work for your stuff. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say. And I'm shooting this video with my Olympus OMD EM1 Mark II, which should have a wonderful autofocus, I hope. Yeah, it should. And with the DJI microphone that my brother gifted to me, and I hope everything's working, because I never shot a video like that before. Yeah, I'm not going to cut to making crazy editing on this video. I'm essentially putting this video first, then the second video as the middle one, and as the last one, the first video, temporarily speaking. And it's a video that stretches across, I don't know, 3 to 4 years. Yeah, 4 years. Oh my gosh. Yeah, 4 years essentially. Yeah. Well, I hope so, because I don't remember if I actually shot the first video. Whatever. It's a quite spontaneous video. I don't expect you to enjoy it whatsoever. It's just a diary, a video diary for myself, essentially. And yeah, whatever.